probably turn the light on
Oh, yeah, let me turn that light
because the light's on the desk.
on. Oh, yeah. Oh, God damn.
Look, then we can see Ben's face.
You know, just a little. I'll just put it up a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Well, now that we have the light on, thank you guys for tuning
Did you
in.
close the door?
Oh, let me close it all the way. I'm not doing anything today. There we go. And for those who can tell, me and Nick are in the same place at the same time, just in different rooms.
Correct.
Exactly.
Very
But
correct.
before we get to that, this is the Best Experience podcast with your host, Nick Best, and myself. And for those who are watching, thank you. We appreciate it. Like I said, with the Patreon, we have tiers. We have a $1 tier, a $5 tier. We have the inner circle, and then the strongest tier. And when you guys join, it helps us, supports Nick in doing this
Yes.
podcast, and just all the extra content that we're trying to put out. We have merchandise store, promo codes for each one of the tiers, so you guys can check that out. And and you get access to this live stream. And with this live stream, you can ask your questions, you can do these things, and we also have a community chat where you can actually plug in your question there, ask the question, we'll answer it there. But we'll, for the questions that are great, we will actually answer them on here. And we're not saying all questions aren't great. We're just saying the ones that really catch your eyes. You know what I'm saying? We'll discuss, talk, and we can talk about nutrition. We can talk about training. We can talk about mindset. We can talk about everyday life. Even movies you guys are interested in, if we haven't seen and you have a recommendation, you know what I'm saying? It's something that we can check out. But, this is the best experience, and that's what we're trying to give you guys. Actually, we have a question, and it's about mindset, and Nick had an opportunity to read it and just give his thoughts on it.
Yeah, well, before I get to that question, I'd like to thank a new Inner Circle member, Zuho. Hope I said it right. Welcome aboard. So this is from Hung Wenjaya. So if I mess that up, I'm terribly sorry. But he has a question about
She.
Huh?
I believe it's a lady.
Okay, sorry.
Maybe. I could be absolutely wrong. We're so sorry. We're really learning how to do this on the fly.
So the question is basically like a lot of people go through meditation, and you almost end up in a state of meditation when you're competing and doing other things as well, which we've talked about. But most of the people get into that state of mind in a quiet environment, being able to block everything out. Well, you're basically going to do the same thing right in the middle of a noisy area. So it's having the ability to go into that same mental state and focus and concentrate solely on what you're doing and blocking everything else out around you. So instead of going into a peaceful place that's quiet and doing that, go into a noisy place and get into that state, focusing on one spot on the wall or focusing on one person moving around and just putting your whole focus on them and having a goal in mind to like maybe walk to them and then walk back, that type of thing, while focusing solely on what's going around and blocking out everything else around you, is kind of a way to train yourself to get into that mindset, so that if you're doing something, you're lifting a task or you're picking up something and moving with it, the only thing exists is that task while you're doing it. You're putting everything else around you to the side and letting everything else around you fall away while mass confusion is going on, or you're in the middle of a crowd, or you're in the middle of an event, or you're in the middle of a concert, just blocking out everything. That's probably one of the easier ways to do it, is block out everything around you and just solely listen to the person speaking or singing at a concert event. And then putting that type of focus that you would when you're in a calm state in meditation, doing the same thing while focusing on them. That'll probably be the easiest way I could explain it in the most simplest terms, how to start cultivating that. So that's kind of where to start with that. And it'll eventually, you'll be able to perform tasks and do things like in front of cameras and TVs and pretty much anything, and still be able to focus on the situation at hand that you're doing, or whatever the task is that you're doing. Yeah. There you
Oh, yeah.
go.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? And those are the kind of things that we're talking about, you know what I'm saying? And,
Mhm.
a lot of people want a lot of specific training. They want a lot of specific information on
Mhm.
this. But that's one of those things
Right.
too. So if you ask these questions, you can get these answers. And like I said, even with that saying, Nick, how is training this week? You know what I'm saying? Like the things that you accomplish, things that you have hit peaks,
Mhm.
or you know what I'm saying, is it rest time, or is it like because you got to know when to put on the throttle, when to take
Right.
off the throttle, and
Right,
everything
right,
else.
right. This week, there was a ton of stuff going on, and I was starting to train pretty hard and do a lot of stuff, and this week, I kinda took as a, active rest week. I still did things. I did a lot of tasks around the house. Um, yeah, I did a ton of tasks around the house, just getting things put on my truck, getting things done in the garage. I put together a leg extension and leg curl machine. I just stayed active and very busy and give myself a week to rest and let my body recover while still doing things that are going to require me to move and do stuff. I did a lot of stretching this week. So while at work and things like that, I went through my mobility drills and stuff like that. So this week coming up, I have a trip to finish that off. And the other reason why is I'm traveling in an NCAA Strongman contest in Sandusky. So for the SCL, and it's going to be pretty hard to train and do that at the same time. So I took an active week of rest, like for the whole entire week, and then I will come back the following week and get back to my normal routine.
And that's one of those things. So you got to do that
Hmm.
when, like I said,
Periodically,
you don't want to show up burnt out. You want to show up 100% attentive and a
yes,
focus
right.
for this event. So that definitely requires your time and attention
Mhm.
for those things. So it's also understanding the future, your schedule, and being on
Yeah,
top of that. So like a lot of people need to understand, you got to plan for what you are doing. So
right.
when you plan
It's a
for what you're doing,
planned week. It's a planned week off. And I was feeling like I'd been putting in a lot of really hard work and stuff like that. My body just needed to take a week to recover. A week off is not going to kill you. You don't start atrophy until day 10. So if I take a week off, I still got 3 days before any atrophy even remotely takes place. So it's good. It's good. It's good to take a week off every once in a while. I'm still doing things. I'm still getting activities. I'm still moving around. I'm not just sitting and doing nothing. But I'm not training hard this week. I will be back at it after I get back. I'm in probably day 3 of the rest period, so it's okay.
yeah.
It's going to be
And,
good.
and And even with that, let's just touch a little bit on the nutrition. For most
Mhm.
people who listen and follow Nick, he follows a vertical diet style of
Yeah,
nutrition, and
style. Yeah,
like just touch on that, like the importance of just staying on diet, staying on nutrition, but also too the one of those things that people don't know is consistency is key, and don't
yeah.
fall off.
Right. So, I mean, I try to. It's a vertical-ish diet that Stan Efferdine and forgot the name of the other guy. Sorry, that came up with it. But it's a pretty solid diet. I was pretty much eating very similar to that. I just added a few things in, and it kind of completed how I eat, and I eat that way pretty much all the time. And I try to find things like if I can't meal prep and stuff like that myself, I find places and restaurants where I can get very similar food as I'm out in that way. So my digestion, all that stays very consistent. The more consistent you eat, your food's used to it, your body's used to it. So you're eating and your body's ready to digest that type of meal all the time. And that's a big deal because when you go out and you travel and you go from eating a very consistent diet to going out and eating whatever they have. Instead of going out and eating whatever they have, just be creative and find things that are similar where you're at. It's easy to find white rice, cooked white rice. There's Japanese restaurants, there's Chinese restaurants. Both of those will also still have some form of beef or chicken or whatever your protein is, or even egg. They put a lot of egg in fried rice. Well, you can just ask them not to make the fried rice, just throw some egg in there. There's tons of ways to be creative and eat while traveling and still eat well. So it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good.
And that's one of those things too, is people always fall short. At least I, like
Mm,
even for myself, and I know for the majority of people, it's like we always look for that excuse. We always like,
mhm,
well, I'm not home. Well, let me just, like even when we travel and we go out, I always order the exact same thing because I know that exact same thing is going to
right,
always be pretty much pleasant, good for me. You know what I'm saying? And for the majority of part, 90% of the food that I eat is in hamburger form. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? Whether I need a bun or no bun, that double meat burger doesn't have to be fully loaded or any of that stuff. You don't need
right,
any of the extras. You just need meat. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty
correct,
consistent around the world, or at least in the United States. I can't say around the world, but
right.
you
Well,
know what
like
I'm saying? And
In-N-Out Burger, and then I found out a couple of the other places do it too. I just buy the patties.
yeah,
I go in and out. I'll buy 6 patties. I'll buy 1 order of fries and, iced tea,
there we go.
and I'll get my
It's sweetened
carbohydrates
or
in,
unsweetened.
unsweetened,
There you go.
unsweetened.
Because
So,
I knew that, but most people out in the world doesn't know that. But Nick likes that
yeah,
unsweetened.
yeah, because you don't need the sugar. You already get that. You're already gonna get a better form of sugar from the french fries, from the potatoes, and then a little potassium, a little salt, and then with the meat, of course, you're gonna get some salt. And then you'll process the beef. You'll get the uh, amino acids and stuff out of there when you digest the beef, but you can also still get your body will still process protein for energy as well. So if you didn't
Exactly.
get enough
And
carbohydrates, that'll make
yeah.
up for it.
Exactly, and just like you said, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to
Mm-mm.
be within what you need.
Yeah, it just has to be consistent, and it can't just be over the board, over the edge. You don't go eat from eating like you know 400 to 800 calories a meal to all of a sudden eating a meal that's like uh, 2,000 calories, and you eat a couple of
Yeah,
those, 2 or 3 of those a day. Yeah, you're going to run into a problem. If you go over by a couple hundred calories while you're traveling a day, that's fine. But if you start going over 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 calories a day because you're eating food that is not very good for you, that's what's gonna create you the problem in the long run. And then, oh, I just do it here, and oh, I just do it here, and oh, I just do it here. Mm-mm. That's not what's going to make you be successful in maintaining your size, your muscle mass, or anything else. That's what's going to create a very large increase in body fat and can do things to make you insulin sensitive at the same time. And you don't want that either. So, like, for instance, we went to a food truck this week and they had a burrito that was actually pretty good lean food that was in it. And then they also had they had a cheesecake sandwich. So ordered the cheesecake sandwich as well as the burrito, ate the burrito, and then had a couple bites of the cheesecake sandwich, not the whole thing. Had a couple bites of it to just get the flavor and the taste, which was a couple hundred calories. I was good. I gave somebody the rest of what was left, and they can, if they want to have a couple things, fine. But I just wanted to taste it. Got the taste. I was fine. On to the next thing. The burrito
and
was
that's
probably
self-control.
yeah. The burrito was pretty good. It was a steak burrito, and it had rice, and it had black beans in it, so there wasn't a whole lot of unwanted fat in it. There was avocado in it, which is a good fat, so that stuff was fine, and it
That's one of those
turned
things
out
too, is
well.
like the difference between on season and off season. And, like could you imagine like the majority of the time, like Brian Shaw, I don't know about Eddie, but I know you always Brian Shaw always eats cheesecake to
Yeah,
fill the calorie gap because how calorie dense it is. And it's
right,
like, it's like you don't have to fill a calorie gap, but it's like I still want some flavor.
right. You're not doing it to get up to 440 pounds because Brian or Eddie didn't really worry about their body fat or anything as they're doing it. They're just trying to get that much bigger. But getting a taste of something and seeing what it tastes like is fine. It's eating the whole thing where you're going to have a problem, and eating more than half the thing is going to be a problem. If you have 2 or 3 bites, get a good flavor, enjoy it, savor it, but that's it. You're good. You're going to be fine. At the end of the day, you're going to be okay. So,
Oh,
mm,
no, that's definitely it. You know what I'm saying?
mm.
Self control is hard, and a lot of us struggle with that. But it's also something you have to build it. You have to build that up. It just doesn't happen overnight.
Right. But developing self control comes to measuring what you're doing versus what your long-term goals are all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. Whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, you go to do something. Will this help or hurt what I'm trying to accomplish? And you have to put the goal that you're trying to accomplish, above certain things. And there's some sacrifice involved, between going out and having fun and going out to a bar and everybody's drinking. You go out to the bar with them because you want to see your friends, but you're like, you don't drink, and you're like, okay, looking at your watch. Okay, it's 11 o'clock. I need to leave because I got to be at work at 9. So I'm going to go home. I'm going to get my sleep. I'm going to be able to get up, meal prep what I need for the day, and then get out the door in one piece. So you're going to leave before 11. They're there till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, great. Have a great time. I have goals I need to accomplish. That's where I set my limit, and other people set their limits in different ways. John likes to go to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning or 8 o'clock at night, but he gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
which is fine. But
2:59, so it's before 3.
right. So, but he does what he needs to do to get his sleep in, and he's not negotiable with that. And neither should you. So, but you set where your norm is. You might not have to. He's getting up and doing stuff by 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. He's already working and doing stuff at 5. Now, so if you got to be up by 7 to be at work by 9, same time span, it just set to where your life is. That's all you got to do is just set your schedule to where your life is, and don't be negotiable with those things. If your objective is to perform well at whatever it is that you do, you need a certain amount of sleep to be functional and to do well. If you don't sleep well, and you can cut your efficiency that day by at least 20, sometimes 30%. You might feel okay, but you dredge on and you get through the day, but you'll be 20 to 30% better if you just get a decent night's sleep. So sleep's
Yep.
important.
Very
And it's setting a schedule and executing the schedule and measuring your goals against what is going on around you pretty much at all times.
Yep.
You know,
And that's the truth.
and that'll keep you consistent on what you're trying to do. You can't just, because people get in the habit of blowing stuff off once. Oh, I'm just going to do this once. And then it comes up again, and they do it again. And then they do it again, and it comes up again. Don't do that. It being non-negotiable on those things. If they're truly your friends, if they're truly important people in your life, they're going to accept that and they're going to understand. It's just that simple.
Yeah, it is that simple, and it's direct and straight to the point because,
Yeah.
like I said, we all have goals, we all have wants, we all have needs. But the thing is what you truly desire is going to be
Right.
the hardest thing to obtain, and a lot of people,
Sorry about
ain't
that.
going to want to help you with that. But the people that really love you will help you.
Exactly. The people that want to support you, that want you to succeed, that want you to achieve what you want to achieve, because you can build wealth that way, you can build your body that way, you can build spirituality that way. There's nothing you can't build with those parameters. There's nothing you can't do. It's just setting your goals, setting your non-negotiables, and going through it. It's all it is. And your life will adjust and fall into place as you do those things. And those who really love you will still be there, and those who are more there for acquaintances and like fun and who you are, or who they just kind of want to be around you because you're fun or whatever it is, they'll fall off.
Yep.
They'll fall off.
That's it.
But the important people will stay in your life doing the important thing, supporting you doing the things and the goals that you want to accomplish.
Exactly. And let's pivot a little bit because so
Okay.
sometimes we can get a little too serious and a little too much into the training and mindset of things, but we do
No.
like to make sure we cover it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
But we had an opportunity last night, and since we watched it, we're only one episode deep,
Mhm.
but we watched Charlie Sheen's
Sorry, Sheens.
documentary on Netflix. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
whoa,
Yeah. I to be quite honest with you, I'm surprised the guy's still alive.
for
And
real.
but they're already starting to get into the thing where he has a pattern, and
Yep.
he's very talented. He's bright when he's not messed up on drugs. He's an intelligent man, but he kind of like, you can see that he doesn't feel he's worthy of what he's doing, and so he wrecks it, does drugs, gets out of control, and then pulls it back together, goes to the rehab, rebuilds his life, and it's a pattern he follows over and over and over again. And some of that's probably, him not feeling like he's worthy of it and values what's going on, um, and wants to blow it up to see if he could do it again, just to confirm he still has that ability.
Yeah.
And for the first episode, you can kind of see the pattern.
Oh yeah, no,
So,
no, they're definitely drawing a line that you can follow,
yeah, yeah,
and it's just it's crazy. But then also too, it's like, Martin Sheen is his dad,
right.
Emilio Estevez is his brother, and
Hmm.
Ramon Estevez is the older brother who, didn't really, he didn't really seem like he was doing acting; he was living a normal life. But
Right.
um, you don't realize he really did grow up as not just a star kid, but around stars. Like almost every one of his friends are all high level actors, high level people. And it just lets you know that you could be around this much success and not feel worthy. And then just go. And also, too, peer pressure is there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
Well, and
the,
then also there was no limit for him. People didn't
yeah,
hold him accountable.
yeah,
He would do something messed up, and like he talks about the first time he kind of figured out when he wasn't going to get held accountable is when he showed up late for filming Ferris Bueller's Day Off. He was panicked. He slept in. He kept hitting a snooze, and then he gets there and he's late. And they're like, the director's like, "Oh, okay, you're here. Let's get started." Didn't rip him. The girl that got him the gig, I think Jennifer Grey was who it was.
yeah,
Rips him a little bit. He thinks he's gonna get ripped by by the director, and he's like, "Okay, you're here. Great. Let's get started." And it turned out to be an epic, scene in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, but he didn't get held accountable by the director, and he kind of learned, if you come in and hit it out of the park in acting, and you keep it together, while you're acting, you're going to get away with a lot.
yep.
And he did, and nobody really held him accountable, and he didn't
Yeah,
hold himself accountable.
he
That's the
did
big
not.
thing. If he ever held
Exactly.
himself accountable, a lot of those things would never happen.
Exactly. He held
But,
himself to that higher standard. But
mm-hmm.
like I said, he didn't really get, and through the whole thing, he didn't really get any pushback
Right.
from anybody for any of the shit he actually did. So,
And
it
then,
definitely shows.
yep. And people would just hand him drugs.
Yeah,
Make
exactly.
they would enable the habits. So around a lot of drug addicts and a lot of people, they're the people around them enable them to be that way.
Yep.
And you can't enable people to be that way. It's just not
And
good.
you got to remember, this is just episode one,
Yeah, I know.
and
So
it was
it'll
quite
be,
a bit.
yeah, it was a pretty good show. It was interesting to watch.
Oh, yeah, we definitely have to get into episode two.
But
And then, and before we even, I don't want to pass too far on this because there's a little bit more I wanted to talk about with
okay,
this documentary. But
go
Charlie Sheen's first movie was Grizzly 2, and he was a side partner. So I'm like, I saw Grizzly 1, I didn't watch Grizzly 2, so I'm definitely gonna reach back and watch Grizzly 2 so I can just see this because and the one thing he was talking about filming Grizzly 2, if it wasn't for Grizzly 2, we might have had a different Karate Kid. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, yeah,
That was
yeah.
so crazy because his dad made hold yourself accountable, hold yourself to your word. The only kind of discipline or mindset or anything came from his dad, and only
And
from
from
his dad. From so far from what I've seen, because he made him. No, you promised, you gave your word, and in this business, your word is bond. And
and that was
so
kind of
he
like
missed
only in
out
the
on
field of
Karate Kid.
acting.
Yeah,
And that was kind of like only in the field of acting. You didn't make them
yeah,
hold it for pretty much anything else. But
exactly,
yeah, you gave
exactly.
your
So
word, go do this, now go do it. And then comes
yep,
back and they couldn't wait, so they used Caruso.
that's
So
it. That's it. And then,
but
but also want to talk about Heidi Fleiss. She's out of jail and is a crazy bird lady. At least that's how I see this in the documentary.
a
So,
couple of those
yeah,
birds did not look very healthy. All the feathers pulled off
very,
and
yeah.
everything. Oh,
You know, I don't know nothing about bird care, but yeah, some of them were missing quite a bit of feathers, and I don't know how that works. But you know what I'm saying?
it
I
looked
don't
like
know
they'd
her
been plucked
situation.
alive.
Yeah,
I'm assuming the birds are fighting with each other, but
yeah,
yeah, they look like they
but
had
it
been
was pretty
plucked
crazy.
alive. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for those who didn't know, Heidi Fleiss is out of jail, and she's still, living life. She just does not at all look the same.
No.
No.
But okay. Anyway.
That's it. All right. Well,
Well,
we'll move on from Charlie Sheen and all that
mhm,
good stuff. One of the things, like I said, you got this trip coming up where you're going to be
mhm.
heading down to Sandusky for
Yep.
Strongman announcing, and
Yeah.
so
Yes.
you're just doing announcing or judging,
Just announcing.
and that's what I like to see because, like I said, Nick still wants to get back to the community. He still wants to be there for
Mhm,
these kinds of events. Big, small, it does not matter because guess what?
mhm.
Strongman is strongman in every facet, and
Yeah.
it's one of those things you love. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Yeah. No, I love it to death. It's going to be fun to go out there. One of the events is they're going to do an arm over arm with a ship.
With a ship,
They're going to be on a boating dock,
yeah.
and the ship's going to be like in the water, and they got to pull the ship at a loading dock, arm over
All
arm.
right.
It's going to be neat to watch. It's going to be pretty amazing. So
Yeah, it's
I'm
gonna be.
looking forward.
It's gonna,
Never seen that before, so that's going to be pretty
yeah.
cool to see in person.
Never seen that.
Might
So
even try to check
unfortunately, I'm
it
not
out.
going to be there. So I definitely would have liked to have recorded that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
But,
saying? Yeah. So
well,
that'll be fun
They're
to do.
filming it. It's going to be on local television,
Oh yeah,
so
yeah.
we're going to be
Well,
okay.
it's gonna be on local TV.
Yeah. There.
Oh, then
Yeah.
there we go. You know what I'm saying? For
Mhm.
those who are in that area, the Sandusky area, they'll be able to watch it on TV then. So that'd be pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
Even with that kind of coverage, I'm pretty sure it'll hit the news with a reminder and all that good stuff.
Mhm. Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that'll be
Good
pretty
stuff.
awesome.
Can't wait.
Oh yeah. And then,
So.
you fly back, and then, what I'm saying, and then we're just gonna be on for another week. But
Mhm.
um, what I want to talk about is is up and coming. Like I said, the Olympia's right around the corner. It's
Mhm.
literally in October.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're about half a month away,
Mhm.
and we always go to the Olympia. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Be at the booth.
Mhm.
Shaw Strength, Brian Shaw. He
Evolution.
always
Yep.
comes.
Mhm.
So, what I'm saying, that'll always be a thing. So it's like, we want to start reminding people, if you want to come see Nick, meet and greet Nick, we will definitely be there.
Yeah, and I'll be judging the, the disabled veterans strongman contest as well.
There
So
we
that'll
go.
be fun.
You know what I'm saying?
That'll be a
That'll be a
lot
lot
of
of fun because what was it? Strongest American or Strongest American or
America's strong
America's Strongest?
yes,
Yeah.
man, yeah, America's
Yeah,
strongest
I was
man.
trying to remember. I literally was just reading it this morning, and I don't know why I couldn't think about it, but you know what I'm saying?
Probably because 'cause you've done 20 things since
Yeah.
you woke up, editing videos and doing stuff, and it all kinda mixes together. Yeah, that's probably
Oh
why.
yeah, yeah. It definitely blends together sometimes because it's a lot of fun when we get to hang out and do stuff. So you know what I'm saying. And then I want to talk about this Bear Steel piece of equipment you just got.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying. You just put it together,
Mhm.
and as you put it together, it's like I didn't realize how heavy duty it was, and how smooth it was, and how small of a footprint it is.
Yeah, yeah, it fits in less than a 3 by 3 square. So
Yeah,
it takes up very little space in a garage, yet you can do leg extensions and leg curls on it, and it's it's built like a tank. You're not going to break this thing. You're not. The steel's thick, the bolts are huge, and you need a 36 millimeter and a 34 millimeter sockets to tighten the bolts on it. So it's
yeah,
yeah, it's pretty serious. It's a neat
exactly.
piece of equipment and it works great. So I love the thing and just get to add that into my routine.
Yeah, it literally feels like a piece of it is a piece of gym equipment, but it's a piece of home gym equipment. So,
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying?
home.
Sometimes yeah,
It's a home gym equipment that's commercial gym quality,
exactly,
hands down. I mean, it's I'll put that thing against any leg extension or leg curl in any commercial gym right now. It's that good,
exactly.
and it's
No, it
reasonably
is actually.
priced too. So
Yeah,
it's really reasonably priced. So
you
I
know
would
what I'm
go check
saying?
it out
So
on Bear Steel for sure.
exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. And and with everything that with training and with getting a
Mhm.
new equipment and trying new equipment, what I'm saying, no one ever understands how important equipment and also how important proper gear is. You know what I'm saying? Because that's one of
Yeah.
those things too. Sometimes people put too much faith and strength in just the equipment they use. But the thing is you still have to have that raw power
Oh
behind it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's there to help you. It's not there to do the work for
Do
you.
it for you. Yeah. But a good quality equipment like Evolution Athletics has great stuff. Great belts, great knee wraps, great wrist wraps, wrist wraps. I mean, everything. Soft belts, knee sleeves, lifting support pants, stuff like that, support shorts. They have everything that you need to compete at the highest level in any contest, whether it's powerlifting or strongman or anything. It's good equipment, or just for great training. Because you pay what you get what you pay for, and it's designed by a lifter that's one of the best that there's ever been. So it's good equipment. It really is. It'll last you a long time.
Oh, it definitely does. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I own I don't do training as hard as I used to, but like I said, I do use a soft belt, and goddamn, that the Evolution Athletics soft belt is the best soft belt I've ever
Yeah,
used, and
they're
you know,
nice.
it's
They're
not
good. They're
just
really
comfortable,
good.
but yeah, and also too is like a lot of times when you get soft belts, they roll or they
Hmm.
slip or they stretch
Yep.
out, and like I said, and it's one of those things. It's like when the quality is there, it doesn't stretch out, it doesn't roll, it
Hmm.
doesn't fringe, and it actually lasts. So like it's
Yeah.
just like it's just proper equipment, right price, all that good stuff. So it's like making sure that we understand that difference. You know what I'm saying? You pay for what you get, just like you said.
Yeah. You want the best, you're gonna get the best from them. It's just that simple. So.
It is that simple.
Mhm.
You know, and it's just it's so crazy too because like I said, yeah, I've seen gym equipment, I've had gym equipment, and it's just like I bought in the cheapest, and I've used Evolution. And it's like, oh, you can't put dollar for dollar
No,
there at all.
you can't compare 'em.
No,
It's
no,
not the same. Mm-mm.
exactly. And and talking about equipment, we actually we just posted a video for strongest man or not strongest man for strongest man in history,
Yep.
and and it brought up a whole conversation about that tug of war competition. So for
Right.
those who watched the show, there was it was a 6-on-4 and then a 7-on-4,
Mhm.
but there was a slight advantage that was never discussed. I don't know if it was discussed in the episode or not, but
Oh,
you
it
were telling
wasn't.
me about it. So can you set it
Yeah.
up?
Yeah. Well, so we did the tug of war. We started at 4-on-4, then 5-on-4, then 6-on-4, and then we got to 7-on-4. But these guys were originally to use their tug of war boots, which have blades on the side of them. So they just turn their feet sideways and it digs in. There's no way we're gonna move them. We're like, no, 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 no. So they were like, okay, you just can't wear cleats or that. So they come with like rock climbing shoes, mountain climbing shoes. Like where you go hiking in, and the bottom's all, it's got you
Rigid.
know ridges and grip and stuff like that. And we're still in our tennis shoes. So once we got to the seventh guy, we could hold it with our hands and beat him easy. We just couldn't keep our feet in connection with the ground. We just slid. There was nothing we could do. I think if we would have had the same type of shoes that they had on, we probably would have beaten them all. But that didn't happen, and so they beat us. But plus, I don't think you're going to find shoes in bra. Might find them in maybe find them in Eddie's size, but Robert and Brian, you're not going to find shoes in 16 and 17s. So there was no way that even they were going to be able to get the same type of shoes. We all should have just had plain old basketball shoes, all of us, and then or plain tennis shoes. Then it would have been probably a whole different story. But that's okay. I mean, we still did pretty good.
Oh yeah. You got
Mhm.
yeah, 6-on-4 is still pretty good.
Yeah, not
You
bad.
know, the one I know how competitive Brian is.
Hmm.
I can only imagine how upset he was when you guys couldn't pull off that 7-on-4. Is there? Can you shed a little light on that?
Oh well, yeah. He doesn't like to not win. So, but I mean, it was fine. It was just like that's where we pointed out that they had different shoes on, but by then it was too late. So there was nothing to be done about it.
Nice.
So,
And
but yeah,
so and just talking a little bit more on those Scottish games you played. What were a few of the
the
other
Highland
games that
Games.
you guys actually that were actually there did?
Yeah. So we did the Open Stone, or I think we did the Braemar actually. And Robert did really good with the Braemar Stone. He can. I don't know why Robert doesn't do the Highland Games. I
You
really don't.
should.
he should, because I think that's built right up his alley, because he chucked the heck out of that stone. And then the rest of the events he would do really well in. The caber toss, they used the challenge. They used their last caber, the one that I guess only 2 people have flipped.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get to play with it before we went. So when we're going out there and grabbing it, it's not like we got to practice with it or warm up with it or do anything else. It was just like, here's the caber. Oh, by the way, as we're going, only 2 people have flipped this. This is the one they use after the people have got 12 o'clock a couple times on the other one. And so
Yeah.
it's just like, okay, great, thanks. And yeah, I felt like I had one pretty good pick. And then I got excited with it, and my hand moved just as I went to put the pressure on to lift it up. The thing slipped out of my hand and hit me right between the legs. And I took a little bit of a knee and caught my breath and just waited till I could walk again. So yeah, right on camera. So it was awesome, just for
Oh.
everybody to see. So it's like, oh,
Uh,
that did not feel good. So,
that's it.
but yeah.
Was Eddie the only one that actually got close to flipping it, right?
No, Robert actually was the one that got
Oh,
close to
Robert.
flipping it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was the only one that got close to flipping it. And even then, Robert still had quite a ways to go to flip that thing. But I
Yeah.
think he got
And,
like
well, and that's
70
one of those things
degrees
too.
or something.
It's the heaviest and the biggest caber, and they're like,
Mhm.
oh, let's just make you guys so no one can do what make it look like you guys are
Yeah.
easily doing what you guys did. Because you imagine if you would have started with the right size caber that everyone starts with, it
Yeah,
probably would have.
we probably would have did a little better. But that's okay. I
Yeah.
mean, it is what it is, and it looked like it will look like, and it was still a neat experience. It was still a lot of fun. I mean, we're on Braemar. That's where the Queen
Yeah.
goes. Queen used to go to watch the games and stuff like that. So it was pretty special just to be there. So
That's
um, it
that's
was
cool.
neat. It was an honor. And then going
Did
to
you guys
Castle
take on
Braemar.
any other sites while you were there?
Yeah, well, we went to Castle Braemar. We went to Eddie and I, which I don't think you see in this series, had to go to a place that makes haggis. And so they took us to the back and we got to see how haggis is made and what they use to put in it. And it was just like, it's all like hearts and lungs and kidneys and stuff like that. And you're just like kind of looking at it going, oh my gosh, and they just throw it all into a grinder and dump it into the sheep's stomach. So yeah,
Did you guys have to
yeah.
try it?
Well, they made it and they cooked it, and then we all had dinner at Castle Braemar and brought it out, and so everybody had to take a couple bites of it.
Oh my
Yeah,
god!
that was an experience. The good thing though is because Robert did what he did, he won a bottle of scotch. Turned out to be
Nice.
very, very, very good scotch,
Well,
and
you guys
he,
are in Scotland.
yeah, exactly. And they opened it, and everybody got like a little taste of it, so that was pretty cool. That was really
Nice.
amazing.
Nice. That's what I like to hear. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You guys actually took a couple of iconic pictures while you guys
Mhm.
were in Scotland, dressed up
Yeah,
as Braveheart. You know what I'm
Braveheart,
saying?
yeah.
Which everyone always talks about those.
Which was really funny because we had to do that ourselves.
Yeah.
We brought it up to the producers and stuff like that, and they're like, "No, we're not paying for that." And we're just like, Okay, fine. We got 3 hours that are free. We're gonna kind of go do this." And we got a hold of somebody, went to the store, and I think either Eddie or Brian bought the paint. I think it might have been Eddie brought the paint. They came in and we each got one of the guys, one of the film crew, and they were helping paint us up, and we had our kilts on and stuff like that. And the producers are watching us get painted up, and then they're like looking at the cameraman going, "Hey, go with them." So they got a bunch of footage of us out there doing this stuff, and then so it turned into something that was an awful lot of fun, and it was pretty neat. We got some really good pictures out of that, and a couple good videos out of it too. But it
Oh,
was neat. It almost feels primal when you're sitting in the middle of the forest with a sword, and you got all this blue face paint on, and you're like, "Rah!" Feel like Mel Gibson going freedom. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a lot of
that's it.
fun.
Well, this will definitely leave a lot of open questions for those because the question we're not going to answer it, but I always like it because people always ask you, when's the show gonna? And the
Uh,
show's been a few years off,
yeah,
and everyone always asks for that second season. When's
season.
it gonna happen? I know there was a
Yeah,
few times that you guys had some talks and things went back
yeah,
and forth,
yeah,
but for those who know the situation, they know the situation. But
yeah,
it's a love and beholded show that
yeah.
lasted, and it just it still holds the test of times because I don't know how many people that we talk to like I love this show. I rewatch this show. I watch it on YouTube. I search
Oh
it
yeah.
out. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's just one of those iconic shows.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, like the day we started filming and the two uh
Like I said, we're not going to
separates.
get too far
Yeah,
into it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But like I said, for those who know, they know. But at the end of the day,
Mm.
everyone still loves that show. So
Yeah,
and even to
we
this day, people want more episodes,
and
and it'd be
we
fun.
would still gleefully do more too,
Yes,
if that's
gleefully
any
do
case.
more. So,
We love
if
doing
there's
that. It
TV
was fun.
producers out there that might want to pick it up, guess what? We'll always throw it out into ether, but we'll
History's
wait and see.
history owns it, so history's
Oh yeah, yeah,
gotta push it forwards. So if they don't
exactly.
push it forwards, we're just hanging out, getting older by the day.
That's it. But like I said, and I think this is a good stopping point just from here.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
for anybody who has a question about anything going on,
Yeah.
Nick Best, please join the Patreon.
Mhm.
Submit. Go to our chat room. Drop in your question. We'll answer.
Mhm.
And you know what? If it's interesting enough, we'll put it onto the podcast. So because we definitely appreciate the community, we definitely appreciate
Mhm.
joining. Like I said, we have an inner circle, and
Yep.
then we also have the strongest tier. We also have a free portion there for those who just want access.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
And
this
then
will come
just
out tomorrow for everyone else who's listening.
so, just kind of one of those things. A lot of the stuff on Patreon is going to be we're going to be adding a lot more stuff in, and we're going to keep upgrading the things. This is just our starting point for it. So go back and check because there's always going to be new stuff in every few weeks. There will be a strongman thing for programs and stuff that you can for templates for off-season training, like year-round off-season training for strongman. There's going to be stuff in there for off-season training for powerlifting, and then just there'll be a couple different general off-season training stuff. The in-season things you can request training, and we'll get that worked out. So as always, though, train hard, train smart, and be the best you can be. And thank you for everything, because without you guys, we don't have this. So thank you, and have a great day. Go out and get it.
You're listening to the best experience